on. It's on.
Recording.
Yeah.
Oh,
Merry festive season.
Oi, no, don't go.
You've got to be politically correct about this.
Don't go. All,
People are going to get
on neutral
hashtag
tone
offended.
On this. No way, no chance. It's Merry Christmas.
Christmas, of course, meaning Christ Mass.
Yeah, the Mass of Christ, which is obviously how you calculate the gravity of God. Welcome. It's been a while since we've done this.
Yeah,
you know, this is us doing this again.
What a terrible introduction!
What is
audience
this,
retention is zero at this point.
This is dead air. We are back to have our conversation about strange and weird happenings and events in the world. And today, on this program, our return from a long period of dead air, we're going to talk about weird Christmas traditions.
Yeah, as Santa pierces the sky with his electric, because it's electric now, it's got to be green, isn't it? His electric sleigh powered by solar panels. We're going to talk about the origins of the lesser known, Black Friday in particular, because it's very popular, it's very common. It's when everybody hits
that has
the
absolutely
stores.
Nothing to do with Christmas.
It's about getting your bargains pre-Christmas. This didn't exist when I was growing up.
No,
it's very much a modern.
Everyone talks about it. It's clearly and obviously a corporate marketing strategy that it emerges from America because it's about using that day after Thanksgiving. But it's exploded in popularity, isn't it?
Do you know the origin of that? Do you know the reason why Black Friday exists? Because there is a dark past.
Oh.
Hello.
Tell me all about it.
Well, the origin of American Black Friday, because of course we have our own origin in Britain, as you know, which we have an
the real Black Friday is a rather different affair entirely.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
The actual modern use of Black Friday in the US comes from the 1950s, 60s in Philadelphia, when the police actually coined the phrase following the Army-Navy football game that happened on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and the city would just be flooded with tourists and shoppers, and it's very much the modern interpretation. It's a black day because the people who are serving are overwhelmed.
So possibly the way we understand Black Friday as Englishmen is actually has a relation to the name and how it was coined in Philadelphia, because as we call it, the real Black Friday in Britain is the last working day before the Christmas holiday. And what happens on that day, Benjamin?
Well, I mean, they have to have extra security. Security guards get paid, I think, 3 or 4 times their standard salary.
Yeah, because no one wants to work that day.
Most of them won't do it because it's so dangerous.
Yes, it's just a day of utter drunken debauchery, which normally descends into unnecessary wanton violence.
People finish work early, I think around 2 o'clock.
They basically go for lunch and then just party.
Yeah, and you see these people wandering around in the streets confused, with the paper crown still on their head from the Christmas cracker, probably with a pint that they've stolen from the pub in their hand and a kebab in the other.
They are just bedraggled zombies.
The Red Cross, I was going to say the NHS, no, it's the Red Cross. The Red Cross set up drunk tents.
Yeah, there are field hospitals. In some major cities in Britain, there are field hospitals on this day, yeah.
I think it's mentioned in the article, but they have special beds that are equipped with straps because some people need restraining as they're being given care. I mean, that's the power of a snowball. You know what I'm talking about?
It's just sad though. We know that drinking is a very big part of.
Yeah, but snowball, right? Snowball.
I'm assuming you meant like avocado with coconut.
It's not cocaine. I'm talking about snow.
Avocado with coconut.
Lemonade with avocado. It's brilliant. You only have that at Christmas. I love that stuff.
Makes me
want to fight people.
But it's a very sad indictment of our inability to handle our alcohol. As a culture, we just drink to excess, and this is really one of the darkest days in the year. I say the year because actually, Well, 2022 is an interesting, wasn't it? Because we have what you and I refer to as a Super Black Friday, because the last working day before the Christmas holidays is Friday, the 23rd of December. And
so you got Recovery Saturday.
Well, yeah, you've got Stay in Bed Christmas Eve Day, haven't you? Yeah, exactly. It's going to be. Well, mate, will it be as brutal this year because maybe the cost of living crisis, etc., etc. Are people going to go out, or is it going to be worse? Are people going to?
Well, it's
people going to go out?
Cheaper to go down the pub because then you can turn off the electricity in your house and save about £100 for the evening.
Good plan. Good plan. Yeah. Okay. So your prediction is that Black Friday this year is going to be dark.
Oh yeah, one way or another. What else goes down at this during festive season?
Well, yeah. Look, so this is we enjoy looking at the meanings behind words and names and where they come from. And like we say, Black Friday isn't quite what everybody expects it to be, but we can look at some other strange traditions because we know that the rest of the world looks upon.
I'm going to throw one in. The I think it's called the oh no, I don't know the name. It translates as the uncle, el tío. It's like a log. It's a log with a face.
What's this?
No. The caganete is the man that is defecating.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's a Spanish thing we can briefly touch on. More of a Catalan thing. It's the small character in the nativity model that is.
Yeah, you've got Jesus
defecating in the corner.
Yeah, it's brilliant. You've got Jesus arriving as the Son of God in a shed with some donkeys, looking startled and bewildered, and the three wise men, and then just round the back, there's a guy just having a dump.
Yeah, school kids round the back going, "Oh, in a manger."
And then there's Miguel.
Miguel going, "Oh God, oh, it's better."
Yeah.
Drop a log.
I've been to Barcelona around Christmas, and they have shops dedicated to them.
They do.
And nowadays they have political figures, so you can get a pooping. I'm going to try to use more YouTube-friendly vocabulary. Pooping Trump, or Trump doing a dump.
Trump doing a dump. Yeah, dump Trump. The caganete has a little bit of crossover culturally with
caganete.
The caganete. Sorry, yeah, the caganete has a bit of crossover with Guy Fawkes and gunpowder plot night in England, where you take the opportunity to scourge a popular figure.
Las Fallas in Valencia as well.
Well, Las Fallas, it's when they burn beautiful models, isn't it? Beautiful
political figures as well. They have political effigies.
Exactly. So we see this comes up again. Ukraine's in the news at the moment.
Hang on a minute, I haven't finished.
Ukraine's in the news at the moment.
Are they?
Yeah.
I haven't finished talking about the TO log.
Oh, God.
Hang on, right. You can get to Ukraine in a moment. They're still there. Basically, this log has a face, and you have to put a blanket over it to keep it warm, and you put a little plate underneath it, and when you beat it with sticks, which is what you have to do, the children come around and go, "I hate you, T.O. log," and they beat it, and it basically poos presents. It's a hollow. I don't want to give it away in case there's any young children listening.
It's like a piñata.
Kind of, yeah.
A poo-shaped piñata that excretes
it's got this
presents.
Big smiley face on its little log face.
Howdy ho!
And then you just attack it with sticks, and it just poos out.
Can you imagine the crossover? Can you imagine the crossover? If we were encouraged in British culture to get drunk the night before Christmas and then beat the man who came in to give you presents.
The kids have to sing
like something out of Withnell's imagination.
This very accusatory song while they're beating it, and they're poo. They're just shouting, poo, poo, poo gifts, poo presents. And he's there with his big smiley face, which he can't change the expression of, but I imagine a tear coming out of the frozen
So when do they do this?
Christmas. I don't know. Around Christmas. I think they do it on Christmas Eve, actually. But you can buy it's a very specific blanket. You can buy them in Barcelona. I've seen them out on the stalls. It's a very specific log with a stupid face, and they're very expensive. But you get one and it's for life, That's your uncle log for life.
Well, is it expensive because it's got little secret pockets that...
Well, it's hollow.
Eject presents.
I don't think we're shattering anyone's illusions by explaining this thing.
Good use of the past participle of to excrete there. Well done.
Yeah.
Tucked away in another word. Let's move on from bodily functions.
So Ukraine, you tell me?
Yes, Ukraine.
Is that in the news?
It's in the news. It has been for most of this calendar year. Well, in Ukraine, apparently, it is tradition to decorate your Christmas tree with cobwebs.
Oh.
Yeah. Apparently, the story goes that a poor widow and her children had actually grown a Christmas tree from a pine cone. But once it was big enough to decorate, they realised that they didn't have any way of decorating the tree. And on Christmas Eve, the night before Christmas, apparently the local spiders heard the children crying and decided to set themselves to work in a kind of Disney-esque fashion and decorated the tree with their wonderful webs. So when the family woke up in the morning, they saw its beautiful shimmering Christmas tree covered in spider webs.
It just sounds like neglect to me. I mean, my Christmas tree has spider webs on it, but that's just because I've not, you've not used it for 12 months.
But this is what they do. Apparently in Ukraine, it's very popular to decorate your Christmas tree with gossamer machine that looks like spider webs. Another one. Go on.
Oh, well, this is a favourite of mine in Japan.
Yes,
Asia,
I do like this one.
In general, I think it crosses over to China as well.
I think it's in Korea as well, I think.
Yeah, it's generally because they... Obviously, the Christian faith is not very big over there. It's more Buddhism and a mix of other religions. But
communism,
for example. And Christmas is something of a novelty. It's something that's quite difficult to think of outside of your own culture. But these traditions don't belong to their culture, so they see it as a kind of strange, quirky, Western world event, and they celebrate by going to what they see as the symbol of Western success and Western culture, the peak of our cultural progress, and that's KFC.
It's KFC and or McDonald's, isn't it? The different countries do different ways. I'm sure in Japan, KFC
they do McDonald's
is the big deal, isn't it?
But I think it's just fast food. It's Western fast food, American fast food, and they have in the entrance, they have the Colonel in KFC with a little Christmas hat on, and Ronald McDonald in McDonald's, obviously. Welcoming people.
Is he still about? Wasn't he retired because he looked a bit scary?
It's a bit late for that, isn't it? I got locked in a burger cupboard with Ronald McDonald. Well, I used to have a birthday party at McDonald's, and as a treat, I don't know, it was terrifying. As a treat, you got locked in a cold, dark room with a clown. They let you go into the place where they keep the burgers.
You are clearly a psychologist's wet dream.
I mean, and now I can't
eat burgers
leave my house
or spend time around clowns.
No, it terrifies me, the sight of a Big Mac.
Well, I'm not surprised, to be quite frank. So yeah, it's Japan. They really, really go for KFC. I mean, they actually have
the family bucket, Christmas chicken bucket.
Exactly. And do you know what? You have to make reservations in advance.
Yeah. It's no joke. They absolutely love it. I suppose it's a festivity completely free from any cultural obligation because they're celebrating something that doesn't really belong to their culture, so it's just kind of a fun thing.
So it's like
Christmas in Spain.
I was gonna say more like Spanish people celebrating Thanksgiving or English people doing Burns Night.
Well, they like the Spanish people. They didn't used to. Certainly years ago when I arrived in Spain, they didn't celebrate Christmas Day. They'd celebrate Three Kings, which we don't actually have in the UK. We don't do that.
Well, we have. Do you know there is a crossover? Three Kings in Spain is Epiphany. Epiphany is in the Christian calendar, and Epiphany is better known to you as a good Englishman as Twelfth Night, which is the day that is at the end of Christmas. It's when we take down our decorations. So, there is a bit of a slight crossover there. But it is true. I mean, organising Christmas in combination with my Spanish wife is always a bit complicated because for my wife, the big day is Christmas Eve. For me, the big day is Christmas Day. So, in the end, we just settled, we can just do both. There is
that's what most people do in Spain now because they're importing all of these festivals because they don't have enough, apparently, even though they celebrate every single saint that has ever existed and some that they've made up. So, you've got 365 festivities, and now they've got an extra one. So why not? Why not?
Did you know?
I'm not having a go.
Here we go. Here's a strange one. In Germany, it's tradition to hide a glass ornament shaped like a pickle in the Christmas tree.
Okay.
Yeah, and basically what you do is you hide the glass ornament after the rest of the tree has been decorated, and on Christmas morning, the child who finds the glass ornament gets another present, or if an adult finds the glass ornament, it's considered good luck. Now, I have concerns about such a thing because in my household and childhood experience, all I can see is just a Christmas tree tipping over. As people rummage through it.
Fire hazard.
So I imagine an adaptation of it is they probably secrete the pickle in and amongst the presents. But there's something similar.
Glass pickle, though.
Yeah, glass pickle. I mean, it's a bit like us putting the penny in the Christmas pudding, or in Spain putting the bean or the coin or the small statuette of the king or the three kings inside the roscon. But the Germans do it in their Christmas tree. There you go.
Their neighbours, Antwerp, Belgium. Yeah. I stayed with some people there once around Christmas, and they introduced me to a tradition that I don't really, to this day, I don't understand it. And I was with my girlfriend at the time. They made us put some sweets in a shoe. We had a shoe each, and then they taught us.
They do this in Holland as well.
They taught us a song, and I was just repeating words in a language that I didn't know, but I just remember it involved clippity cloppity clippity cloppity, because that was the sound of the reindeer on the roof, and you had to sing. And they were filming us.
Are you sure that's not a Disney film?
This is weird. This is like the beginning of a strange ritual. There's somebody's going to get naked soon. There's no doubt about it. Smear themselves in jam.
Isn't there something in Holland about some people black up as a character, and isn't that something that people are frowning upon these days?
Krampus, I think.
Yes,
there's a connection to Krampus with that.
Now Krampus is fascinating, but we have a whole other program about Krampus, about the history and development of Father Christmas, St. Nicholas and Krampus. Please go and check that out.
I think the blackface in relation to Krampus was supposed to represent the children that he'd taken to work in the mines.
Yeah, because Krampus would take
Krampus to mines or hell.
Yeah, the sound on the night of the 5th, which is the night before St. Nicholas's, the day of St. Nicholas, Krampus would roam the streets, and you'd hear the clanking of his chains as he came to take away the bad children. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, you can find out all about Krampus and St. Nicholas and Father Christmas in our other program. Did you know?
No.
You know that in the Czech Republic?
Oh yeah.
Women have a strange thing that they do on Christmas Eve to work out if they're going to meet their husband or stay single for the coming year.
Oh yeah. What do they do? Update their Tinder profile?
Yeah. Much weirder. Much weirder. They apparently they stand with their back to the door and they throw one of their shoes over their shoulder. If the shoe lands facing the door, they will get married within the year. If the shoe lands with the heel facing them, they're going to have another year as a bachelorette.
What if it hits someone in the face? What if the man of their dreams comes through the door and gets a heel in the eye?
Yeah,
ruin everything,
dude. This is one of those strange ones that sounds vaguely familiar to something we're familiar with, which is the throwing of the bridal flowers at a wedding, the bouquet. But this one is specifically for Christmas Eve.
What is it with shoes? They're all mad on throwing shoes and putting stuff in shoes.
Well, there you go. That's
shoe fetishists. Meanwhile, in Scotland, What do they do in Scotland?
Well, Scotland, they really push much harder on New Year's Eve. There's no real unusual or different Christmas traditions in Scotland, but they really but Hogmanay is a much bigger cultural.
I know that you
event.
don't include that in your understanding of Christmas. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day is a
no, I don't.
beast.
I don't consider New Year. New Year is not part of the Christmas oeuvre. It just it's a secular event. It's an event of abstract timekeeping. Do you know what I mean? I always find, we've talked about this before, Ben. I always find New Year's Eve a total anticlimax.
Oh yeah, it's the worst day of the year. Everybody has false and high expectations.
Yeah, I'm still convinced, thanks to the power of cinema, I'm still convinced that I'm going to go to someone's wonderful glass and concrete apartment somewhere in London, and I'm going to meet Rachel Weisz.
I've never been to that party. No one's ever invited me to that party, and I'm bitter about it, to be honest. So
you mean that party in that cool and funky place full of well-to-do people who are single and attractive?
Yeah, Bridget Jones is in one corner. The cast of, what was that film that you hate? Love Actually.
Love
Actually,
all over there. Yes.
And they're all just being posh and having a wonderful time on a rooftop in London.
Yeah, and then at the Bells, the time coalesces perfectly for that perfect kiss. Yeah, I know. Normally what's happening at the Bells, if I'm in a place like London, is I'm fighting for air as I'm trying to watch the fireworks 15 deep in the crowd. It's just no.
But that apartment, that amazing rooftop apartment in London, it always belongs to the female protagonist, and she's got a job working in a coffee shop, and they don't seem to quite understand that an apartment like that costs somewhere in the region of £5 to £10 million,
and probably owned by a Russian oligarch.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you know that on Christmas Eve in Norway you have to hide your broomsticks?
What, in case somebody... What? No, why? What?
It's believed that the spirits and witches roam the earth on Christmas Eve, and so if you leave your broomstick out, they're going to nick them and fly away on them.
They love broomsticks, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
What do they do with their shoes?
No, they might do,
Nothing.
but as far as I'm aware, it's just about hiding your broomsticks so witches can't nick them.
God, what a world.
I know.
Can't even leave your broomsticks lying around without some witch coming along and
in Portugal, it's a common tradition to set a place at the table for dead relatives. I think that's quite common in quite a few countries.
I think that's a global thing. That's like the homies pouring out a little bit of their Mad Dog 50-50 for the fallen.
For the fallen crew.
Yep.
Yeah. And children will put up a stocking for members of the family who are no longer with us. Yeah. In conclusion, Christmas around the world's a bit weird.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
What's it all about, eh?
I know. Really, what we're doing is gathering in the bleak, dark midwinter to say, we got this far. And
it's the coldest, darkest time of the year in the Northern Hemisphere, and we like to make light of that by enjoying the food that we have saved up, our stocks.
This is it, yeah.
And just having fires, etc., to ward off the wild beasts that are roaming around.
Yeah, but basically, remember that the 21st is the winter solstice, the longest night of the year. And so effectively, we are celebrating having reached the halfway point of the dark times.
So I think on that note, we should just say to everyone, congratulations, well done, you made it.
Well bloody done.
And
good on you.
Here's to many more.
And hopefully, Rachel, if you're listening, if you could pop over to my house to have a lovely New Year's Eve party. Well, I said, don't come to my house. Go to Ben's house. He's got a lovely rooftop terrace.
Yeah, I'll have to hide my brooms first. I don't want her flying off with them.
Happy Christmas.